Gamer7 and welcome back to another Creative Sim video here on the channel. This of course is part of the Pokemon 2 cast series. So in this one I am going to be creating Meloetta. I could be saying that wrong, but that's how I think I would say it, Meloetta. And again, this is one of the Pokemons that I'm not as totally familiar with. I haven't got to that point in watching like the season and the episodes and stuff where she appears. So I'm not entirely sure if, that's how it's said. And I'm calling it a she just because that's what I decided to make the sim. This is a legendary Pokemon. I made a lot of legendary Pokemon, so I feel like I've said this so many times, but just in case someone randomly stumbles across this video and hasn't seen the others, the legendary Pokemons technically do not have a gender. They are genderless. They are not a male, they are not a female. Technically. But speaking, I know a lot of people tend to, like myself, go ahead and almost sort of already have an idea of whether or not they sort of more see them as a female or a male, and sometimes that's just your preference. Like Eevee, for example, I always call Eevee a female, but I do know people that always say he when they're referring to Eevee, and Eevee actually is more likely to be a male than a female, which, I can't remember the exact statistics, but there was like, it's not like a huge chunk, but it's like 60 some to like 40, 30 some, something like that, chances. But, but I just always, for some reason, I think it's mainly because of the way they say a name. The way you say names and things like that, a lot of times to me, is how I sort of base things. Not so much always on looks, it's a lot of times the name does decide it. And to me, the way that I would think how you'd say this name, I see more female, but also this character does sort of have a few more characteristics that, you could associate more with a female. Now, with Meloetta, if you've seen the character, it looks like she has, like, long hair on the one side, but you can definitely tell it's meant to be, like, a music sheet of some sort. And then the other side, there's almost, like, no hair, and the dress is also sort of, well, it's not, I don't really know if it actually technically is a dress, because, this is a Pokemon, so technically it's not wearing clothes. But just the design, it looks like it could be a dress, has, like, a slit going up to one side, so I tried to keep that in mind. Oddly enough, I found a black dress that sort of has a middle design going on, sort of like what's going on with the Pokemon, and has a slit on it, but it was not to the same side that the slit is on the Pokemon. And the hair that I found that I thought best represented the color and her also is not going to the same side, and so it's sort of like I've just mirrored the Pokemon, and basically the side that the dress looking like thing and the hair music sheet looking like thing was flowing is now on the opposite side. But I am really happy with how she turned out. I think she looks really pretty, and I also think she represented her Pokemon pretty well, to be honest with you. I feel like I should have made her just a little bit more pale, but I don't know what made me decide to not go a little bit more paler than she actually is right now in the video, but I did for some reason decide not to go paler at the time. But looking back on it, I think I probably should have. Now I do try some headpieces, because if you see, she's got like, well, the Pokemon has like this thing on one side of the head that looks like one of the, it's like supposed to symbolize a music note, and then like a band coming across the head with like this little gem or something sitting on the forehead. So I do try to play around with some things. I put some things on, and then I'm like, I don't know, maybe try something different. And eventually I leave this one headband on for a while, but I decide that eventually I decide that I don't like it, so I do change it. And I don't know if it's in tattoos or what it was in, or if it was in skin details. It's in something. I can't remember, but I found like this little piece to put on her forehead, and then I actually give her a headband to represent like the music note looking like thing on the side of the head. But of course, it's not just on the side, it's actually going across the top of the head, but that's what it's supposed to be representing for my sim. But right now I'm looking through clothes because I still have the headband on. Because the headband, I was like, it fits pretty well, it's going across her head like this thing is, it just doesn't have a gem in the middle of it. But it was just sort of throwing me off, so I do go back and change that, because I'm just like, I don't know. But I already have passed the dress that I do ultimately decide to try, but then I look at her legs, and her legs are completely white, so I was like, well, maybe I should put some leggings or tights on her to see what it looks like with some of these dresses that I'm thinking about. So that's what I do. I go back and do that and see which one I think best looks the best on her and also represents her the most. I also kept an account that I imagine that if you like had the sim in your game or whatever, or like me, like the Pokemon essence of the Pokemon transferring over to the sim, I would imagine they would be like a singer, a pretty popular singer, and all this stuff. Is that's supposed to be a legendary Pokemon technically, so you know, imagine they'd be pretty famous and love to sing, which is ironic because before I record, like when I first recorded the Create a Sim, you know, I didn't know of anything of this, but when I'm recording the voiceover, Get Famous is actually announced. I'm really behind doing the voiceovers, but I'm doing the voiceovers all in like 1 or 2 days of the ones that I haven't finished. So, but it's sort of funny. So if I add her to my game, I'm pretty sure if there should be a cheat somewhere along the way that you can cheat up the fame. That if I do add her to my game, that she may be one that I go in and cheat and automatically make her like a famous sim and make her be like known for singing and like get her singing skill up and stuff. So because I think it would fit best for her personality and such. So there I go, and I changed the headpiece there. But I definitely think I do love how she turned out. I do give her a music note tattoo because I feel like I had to give her something that screamed music, because this Pokemon to me screams music, but the stuff that I put on her so far necessarily doesn't scream it. So it's like, let me throw in, like, I know I have some music note tattoos. I just gotta figure out which one I want to use and stuff. So I was going through and looking at tattoos and figuring out which ones had the music notes, because I have a few different ones that have music notes on them somehow. So I was like, okay, which ones do I have? Which one do I want to use? Okay, I'm going to use this one. So that was sort of a little throw at the whole music note thing, music going into, like, the way this Pokemon is. So I definitely really liked how she turned out. I think she does look like, you know, she's like some famous singer or something. Hope you enjoyed her as well. If so, please hit that lovely like button and subscribe to see future episodes of the Pokemon to Cast series, as well as other stuff on my channel. I will have some sort of playlists down in the description below, so you can go and check out some of those. Also, my social media will be down there. Let me know how you think she turned out, and I would be interested in knowing so far which is some of your favorite Pokemon that you've seen in this series and such. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye!